Hello and welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast. I'm your host, Dan Rolinson, joined by Mat Kendrick to try and debrief, unpack the Aston Villa defeat, the embarrassing performance I've put in the title, and we'll go through the words that we want to use to describe that away at Go Ahead Eagles in match day 3, is it, of the Europa League campaign. 100% record in that competition is over. 5-game winning run across all competitions is over as well. How are you, Matt? You okay?
I was. Bloody Eagles. I hate
know.
Eagles.
I know.
I mean,
What is that thing?
you'd think that I'd be in support of my fellow bald brethren. Crystal Palace, Go Ahead Eagles.
Yeah, it does end there, doesn't it? The Eagle thing.
I don't know. I half expect to have nightmares of Eddie the Eagle singing Hotel California. I don't know. That's all I've got, to be honest. But it does me head in. Just Villa, just when you think you can dare to dream again, just find a way of knocking ourselves out of the rhythm. But I suppose you can't be too greedy. Five wins in a row is pretty good. Said to you before we started that I'm probably as annoyed at this denting our positive momentum across all competitions than I am about losing the Europa League game, because I think, with 2 wins in the bag already, I still think we're in decent shape. It just seemed to me to be very avoidable. I thought we could have had the game wrapped up by half time when we did.
Should have.
Gave them encouragement, didn't we? So, and they took it.
Let's start with some of the comments that are popping through. Damien says, lads, can you please start calling Watkins out? There was quite a lot of comments coming through before we started about so-and-so being a waste of space and this player should never play for us again and all that kind of vibe. And if that's what you're coming to for this podcast, then that's not gonna happen. Was Watkins not very good this evening? Yeah. Was he really good when he came on against Spurs? Also, yeah. Does that mean we should bin him off to the MLS, as I saw a comment earlier? No. Like, players have good games, have bad games. However, he's got 1 goal, I think, so far in the season across all competitions, which for a player that we anticipate gets, 15 in the league and another 10 or whatever across different competitions, 1 in October or the end of October is obviously not good enough. And there are moments where you feel like he doesn't quite look right or doesn't look interested or whatever word you want to go with. But then, like I say, Spurs, he did and did very well despite not scoring. So I'm not going to kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater, but yeah, we can call out a bad game or a bad performance or a bad run of performances. Like, did you not catch the start of the season? We were doing that every week.
Yeah, I've just read John's player ratings before we came on, and I don't think he scored anybody above 5, to be honest. So if Watkins was poor, and he was in good company or bad company, depending on how you want to say it today. We seem to have had that Watkins debate so many times. We have the debate for 2 weeks, and then he'll score goals for a couple of weeks, then he won't. Listen, he's proved his worth over his time with Aston Villa. I still think you lose him, he goes somewhere else, you give yourself a big problem that I don't think we've necessarily got. We certainly haven't got the answers to within the squad that we've got at the moment. We know that he can have games when he goes missing. We can know he has games when chances go missing as well. But I don't think you can pin that on one player tonight. I think it was just a collective waste of a strong position. To be honest, we should have been 3 or 4-0 up by half time. We've missed the penalty as well. The 2 goals, I think both of them are very avoidable. Really, really poor defending. Yeah. So, I think Watkins has got another probably 10 or 11 culprits alongside him today.
Cal says, come on, we just won 5 games in a row. This is a bad loss, but the season is not gone. Yeah, absolutely. And neither is finishing in the top 8 of the Europa League. We lost games in the Champions League last year and still managed that. So this isn't it's a bit like Bruges, isn't it, of last year? Me and Dan Bardell were chatting throughout the game on WhatsApp, and we said that. I don't know whether he said it on his own show that he was doing before we started, but it's got that vibe of you kind of go there expecting that Villa will be okay, and all of a sudden you're not. But that gives you a bit of a spark to go and put that wrong right in other games. Like, I still expect Villa to do well. Could we go and beat Man City at the weekend? potentially, but it doesn't feel like it right now. So this isn't, like I say, a reason for, well, just right off the season then. You know that that's not our vibe here. Same with individual players as well. There's a lot of chat about Evan Guessand, so let's do him as well, shall we? Bardell's finished now. Thanks, mate.
Just on Bardell, I mean, I think it's probably in keeping that Go Ahead Eagles had the microwave in their trophy cabinet, so Bardell could just warm everybody up before they
nice.
before the main course.
Nice. Thanks for everyone who's come over from 1874, by the way. Yeah, that microwave thing, looks more foolish of us now, doesn't it, to be taking the piss out of those things.
Yeah, while they're feasting on their rustlers tonight, we look like the idiots now. What were you talking about, Evan Guessand?
Evan Guessand, yeah. I think we've spoke about him all season, obviously, but there's flashes of, there's something there, but it looks very raw. And sometimes I feel raw is a kind of, what's the word, like a substitute for rubbish, or not very good at the moment, but could be good one day. His goal, you think, maybe that sparks a bit of something, but his goal is not well taken. It is not a nice finish. I actually think his leg's gone out to try and win the ball as a tackle, and it's just ended up going in, is how I saw it, or a bad first touch or whatever. But the one takeaway from him from that game for me is the massively overhit cross, which he fired over like it was a shot on goal. That was a complete, like, I always felt like the players would be looking around at that going, what was that? Oh, what standard is that? That was really poor.
I quite like unpredictable players, because football.
Not when they're predictably crap though.
Yeah, but I don't think he always is. I think he's got flashes of excitement and brilliance in him. He's still very raw, isn't he? I think I saw somebody on Twitter saying it's good that Mikel Antonio he's the halftime pundit or whatever, because he's a bit like Antonio in the fact that he can blow hot and cold, big powerful unit of a bloke, but you wouldn't necessarily rely on him to do the right thing all the time. He's won Emery over, hasn't he? Because he's played a lot more.
He's played a lot, yeah,
than any of our other new signings, if you like. So I don't know. He wasn't particularly good tonight. I'm not sure how he lasted the entire 90 minutes. I don't think he offered enough to justify that. But we'll see better days from him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Tom says, and this is something we spoke about on deadline day, why did we not get Grealish instead of Sancho? Probably cheaper. No, it wasn't. Sancho is cheaper than Grealish. That's the end of that. On Sancho, by the way, I thought I was about to say he's had a good game, as if like we've played well all the way through, but we haven't. I thought in that first 10 minutes when I thought, this will be quite easy, I thought he had moments of moving the ball well and driving forward, and he actually looks quite fit and quite energetic, and there's something in there that is positive. I wouldn't write him off as I wish we'd have got somebody else instead. Yeah,
I wrote him my notes. I described him as a tricky customer. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Is that good?
I mean, I don't know. Tricky customer as like, it's like somebody turning up with a bag of 2p's to pay for the weekly shopping. So I'm not sure whether it's a compliment, but I think I meant in old man's talk that I did think he posed a threat initially. Obviously, he's involved in the first goal. Villa's only goal, should I say. And he just seemed, he seemed keen. I know that's probably the bare minimum that you want of your players, but he seemed keen to get on the ball. He seemed keen to cut inside and open up spaces and stuff. And again, I was probably surprised he faded massively in the second half, as did the whole Villa team. But I was probably surprised that he was one of the first to depart. I thought he might have got another 10 or 15 minutes out of him. It's a narrow sample, Dan. We've hardly seen anything from him. So any little glimpses of encouragement, I'll take them for now. But yeah, I mean, I would have probably, of all the 4s and 5s John dished out, I'd have probably thought Sancho was worth a 6. But maybe it's because I'm clutching.
Yeah. The word that seems to be doing the rounds on the comments is complacent. Now, as a fan watching that game and we score in the first, whatever it was, 5 minutes, I had that sense of, this will be all right, actually. Small ground, bad weather conditions, and that can be difficult sometimes, but we've gone ahead early. This will be our 6th win in a row. This feels like one of those games that will get a nice, comfortable 3-0 or 3-1, but there'll be no fear or no danger of anything. And obviously, very quickly, that turned out not to be the case. Does that ever creep into the players on the pitch? Do you think they have a feeling of, oh, yeah, we're all right here, and that backfires? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I mean, probably, but he's made what? How many changes have we made? 7? Was it tonight?
I don't know off the top of my head. A few, yeah.
So I think it was 7 changes, and the momentum that we've generated in the previous 5 games. There haven't been that many changes throughout that. So it was one of those ones where you're expecting your shadow team to come in and pick up where your first team have left off, and I'm just really disappointed that.
But how different is the narrative though if we're 3 up at half time and we win the game? Because that we shouldn't have been level at half time. No chance.
Well, the frustrating thing is, Dan, teams miss chances, but if you miss chances, what you can't do, you can't be bad at both ends of the pitch, can you?
Yeah.
And even if we got the 1-0 lead, I'm not saying that you go to a team that's 12th, are they? I think in the Dutch top flight. I'm not saying that you go there, score a goal early, and then bottle the game up and try and win 1-0. But you certainly need, when it is only 1-0, to be really disciplined in the way that you defend. And I thought it was a really, really poor goal to give away. First of all, I think it was a Torres handball, wasn't it, for the free kick on the halfway line? But you're still going to be able to defend that.
Yeah,
if you're going to defend such a high line from a free kick in your own half or on the halfway line, you've got to be absolutely on it, haven't you? Because they're going to look to exploit it. And obviously, it's had a bit of a deflection. Again, I think came off Torres. But it's just a really, really poor goal. You go into that game at half time, you calm their fans down. I mean, I thought I only can go on what I heard through the speakers on my telly, but I thought their fans were making quite a fair bit of racket, to be honest. But
yeah.
1-0, even though you probably should be going in at 3-0, you take a little bit of an edge off their crowd, and then you regroup and you try and get that second goal, but keep it solid at the back at the start of the second half. And it just seemed to be, I don't know, it's complacent. It just seemed to be a little bit, I don't know, naive or just not ruthless enough. Basically, we want our Aston Villa team to be a winning machine. And you don't become a winning machine by conceding stupid goals like the 2 that we conceded tonight.
Yeah, completely agree. But this is why I can't kind of just, we're crap again, and we're on track for another bad run. Although we have got some difficult fixtures coming up, and a bad run could happen because we were a winning machine up until tonight. Just won 5 in a row.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You think you've got into those good habits, and all of a sudden you throw in that again. And while you're 1-0, I know it's a massive cliche, but while you're 1-0, the game's never won because teams are always going to get a chance. And the second goal that we conceded as well, it's just ball watching and switching off.
Yeah,
to be honest, to allow, I think he crept between Maatsen and Torres, didn't he? It's a good finish, I thought, to be honest. But if you've got no one near you, you've got time to control the ball. That increases your chances of being able to nick the ball past Martinez and score. So I just thought, as much as I was really frustrated and disappointed by the chances that we've missed, I just think, we're better than that defensively, or we should be. It was interesting, Dan, it was a strange one, I think, to pair the two left footers. He's not really, has he done that before? I'm not sure I've seen.
I think we have done it this season. In fact, I'm sure it was. I might be wrong there, but we definitely spoke about it as is that going to be a thing and how does that work? And I think the comments will correct us here. The game that happened, I think we were okay, or they were okay, and it was like, oh, well, that was a thing pre-game, but it didn't turn out to be anything. Just on the 7 changes, is this like in the grand scheme of Villa's early-ish season? Is this like a Carabao Cup game? A game that you think you're going to win against lower league opposition? If this is a League 2 team, you make some changes, and every so often you'll be scuppered and you'll go, we've ruined that there. And for that, you're out of the competition for good until next season. For this, there's no real, in my opinion, any jeopardy of us now not making the top 8 of the Europa League. So you've kind of got nothing to lose by losing. If this goes well and we win, you go, yeah, made changes, happy days, we were 2 up at half time, comfortable, and the game plan that Villa have planned for has played out. When it doesn't work, though, it's easy to go, that was embarrassing. And that's the word that we've used, and the word in the comments is embarrassing and complacent and a disaster and whatever. But is it that, in the bigger picture, is it that? Or is it just that was a crap game, but we just move on to the next one?
I think it's one of those ones, Dan. If you can afford to lose any game, you probably can't afford to lose a game early on in a, league format cup competition where you've got a chance to get those points back on the board. But again, it's like I said earlier, I just think when you've got an opportunity to win, confidence breeds confidence.
I agreed. Yeah,
and confidence will breed confidence for those players who haven't been involved in the first team. So it probably is a game we can afford to lose, and you'd probably say, well, you'd rather lose tonight than lose on Saturday or lose at Liverpool the following week. That's not to say that we won't lose on Sunday. I don't think we'll lose on Saturday.
We'll find a way, I'm sure.
Aston Villa find a way to lose a match on a day they don't play. But I just think, Emery's been quite clear, hasn't he, that his priority is still the Premier League. And I don't think there's any danger of us doing a Tottenham and sacking off the Premier League to further our Europa League mission. I think Emery believes that we can compete on both fronts. It was just like the word I said before. It was just so avoidable, And even if you leave there with a draw, to lose it was unforgivable in my mind.
Yeah, there's a comment from Adam there. It says the loss doesn't matter, but the performance does. Crap against the low block and crap defending. That is true. Yeah, the performance is more the concern, but I still think you can have a bad performance and then we could look totally different on Sunday, and we just go, it was just whatever. It was that one game. This isn't now, in my opinion, what Villa are for the next 6 or 7 weeks, and we're going to go on another slump because of that bad performance. But anyway, bit on attitude. And I'll say this is coming from the comments. Watkins' attitude is like a spoiled brat, said one, and Martinez went straight down the tunnel and didn't applaud the fans or whatever. Again, didn't see that personally. Is attitude a problem? I mean, they've just lost a game. They probably thought they should never have lost and they're pissed off, so they want to get out of there. But do you have to just go through the motions of applauding the fans and whatnot?
Can't believe you spent all of yesterday or the day before bleeping out the F of the
That's WTF a bit more extreme
episode, and then you just dropped the P bomb halfway through. It's outrageous.
Can you do one to make me feel better?
I'm not. No, I'm not going to do that, mate. You can wash your mouth out with soap and water. I don't know. Attitude. They're all professional. They all turn up. They all turn up and train.
They all want to win, and we haven't won.
Day. They all want to. They all want to win. They all want to live their lives the right way to try and prepare for the game. So I don't think there's people who are tossing it off in that dressing room. We had this with Morgan Rogers, didn't we, in terms of people accusing him of downing tools and being a sport brat and playing for a move or not playing for a move or not playing for the shirt and all that kind of stuff. I don't really get bogged down in all of that. I'm sure there's probably games where we've won and 14 of the players involved are celebrating and applauding the team, and then somebody just sneaks off down the tunnel because they need a wee or something like that. I'm not going to say the P word. So I don't buy into that. I don't. I stand to be corrected, but I don't think we really do have a problem with sulkers in our dressing room at the moment, unless I'm missing something obvious.
A couple of the little bits. There was a $1.99 donation from Huge Flatfish who says, "Is that WTF moment number 10?" Yeah, that was our recent episode. The 9 Aston Villa WTF moments. I won't be saying that one here. That was a good episode.
Me, Dan?
We missed loads of them.
I remember the days when you used to be able to buy a Huge Flatfish for $1.99, but you just
oh God. Penalties. I messaged John after the miss saying, quick stat check, because he has these things more so than me. What was Douglas Luiz's record like? Because it felt like he scored a lot. And I had a quick look, or he had a quick look, and it was 5 penalties scored for Villa in the Premier League. Possibly one in the Conference League as well. I can't remember off the top of my head, which is less than I thought it was going to be, but still way better of a record than anybody since Douglas Luiz at Villa. We've missed a hell of a lot since Douglas Luiz left in 2024, was it? Tielemans has missed one. Watkins has missed a couple. I think Rashford missed one, or Sancho missed one. There's been lots of occasions. Obviously, Buendia has done this one, which was a poor penalty as well. Like, in those conditions, keep it low, keep it hard, like simplify it. Coming from me, the expert footballer, of course. Why is our penalty record so bad as a club? And who takes the next one now? What's the situation? I don't know. The next one might come in 6 months, and Tielemans is fit again, so he's another option. But there's nobody really in that team who would step up to a penalty and I'll go, oh, we're okay here, or would give me cause to celebrate winning a penalty. Now it's kind of like, oh, we got a penalty. Ooh, okay, then what next? Whereas, 18 months ago, 2 years ago, we get a penalty and I'm thinking, well, Louise scores, so we're Villa 1 again, or Villa 2, or Villa 3, or whatever.
I thought Buendia looked absolutely terrified. He looked like somebody had taken his guinea pig
The ball
hostage.
roll off the spot as well.
Yeah, he looked like really, really fearful. And we had a bit of that with Watkins, didn't we, the other week as well? He looked terrified ahead of missing his. I don't know. We probably said in the past he wasn't on the pitch tonight because he's got that massive gash in his ankle. But Luca Dean, he's your set piece taker. Would he be somebody who put himself forward? I think I'd back McGinn.
I'd back McGinn as well. Was he on the pitch at that point, McGinn? Don't think he was.
He was, wasn't he?
I don't know, because he'd be my pick, I think, as well. Just give him that responsibility. A couple of shouts in the comments from Marlon, but I don't know what his record is. But again, I'd probably think I'd feel more comfortable, not like knowing anything about their records. If Marlon steps up, I'm thinking, okay, all right. If Dean stepped up, even though I've seen him take free kicks, I'd still be like, oh, I don't know.
Did you think Buendia was going to miss? Because I did. I didn't think he was going to miss like that. I thought he'd have it saved by the goalie.
Yeah, I thought saved probably. McGinn missed earlier this season, says Simon. McGinn put the cross in. Oh, he was playing then. Yeah, so I don't know. The fact that there's no outright solution, that it's not just your goal scorer by default, it's your number 9, or it's your captain, or it's your technically gifted midfielder. There doesn't seem to be an outright choice for it.
The commentator said that was Buendia. He'd only taken 2 penalties in his career. His last one was 5 years ago for Norwich.
That's how low down we are on the list of people to take one.
Yeah, I know he's buzzing after scoring the winning goal on Sunday at Spurs, but yeah, again, it's basics, isn't it? And if he'd have fluffed it and it'd have been a really crap penalty straight down the goalkeeper's, straight at the goalkeeper, that would have been frustrating. But I can't forgive people missing the target from the penalty spot.
Yeah,
I just thought, whoever had the conversation with you about like a darts player who can. With a professional darts player, without fail, can hit a very fine area of the board, religiously, routinely, relentlessly, whatever you like. Surely, if you're a footballer, you should be able to, from 12 yards, hit, I don't know, a postage stamp part of the net.
Yeah. That's what they do in training. It's the pressure, isn't it? It's the pressure of the match day environment that gets to them.
What was that half-time thing they used to have when they used to have to hit areas of the goal?
Oh, yeah. They stopped doing that, didn't they?
Yeah, they need to start doing that. They need to bring that back down Bodymore, I think. So
it is frustrating that there isn't an obvious choice or somebody that you just kind of go, oh yeah, it'll be them. If they're on the pitch, it'll be them. There's a shout for Rodgers that he'd scored a couple for England youth teams. Reasonable, I guess. He often plays most minutes or every minute of every game, so there's a chance he's always going to be on the pitch if we get one. So yeah, maybe you go to somebody different. He's not tried one. Oh, poor terminology. He's not tried a penalty. He's not taken a penalty for Villa, I don't think. So maybe Rodgers is next up if on this rotating, let's just give someone else a go mentality.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Well, I actually thought when we got awarded the penalty, I thought, we're going to get out of jail here. Then I forgot that we got nobody who can stick them away. Yeah, I mean, that was like the kind of final insult, wasn't it? On a night where it went from quite hopeful to, a sense of despair quite quickly.
Yeah. Can we talk about Harvey Elliott a little bit? He does play for Villa, by the way. He's not still at Liverpool. He might be a penalty.
Sancho's understudy, is he? I've not heard much from him.
he might be a penalty taker. Who knows? What's going on there in your opinion? The conspiracy theories is that Emery doesn't want him or never wanted him, and if we start him in so many games, then we have to pay a fee. And Emery is trying to get through the season without playing him because he doesn't want him and he'll be sent back to Liverpool. That's the conspiracy theory. Now, the more games that go on where he doesn't feature, that becomes more believable. Although I don't think it is that. The argument is that he needs time to get in the system and blah, blah. He had the criticism in the Sunderland game for moving the ball too quickly at a time when Villa were moving the ball very slowly and not winning football matches. And since then, he's hardly featured at all. I don't think we've seen him apart from a sub appearance, maybe one or two games. And that was what, the third or fourth game of the season. What's happening there? What's your take on Elliot?
Can I just say I don't know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was quite excited when we signed him, to be honest.
I think he's probably on paper our best signing of the window, unless I'm forgetting somebody.
Yeah, I was really pleased. You know, the game before was the day, was it the Palace game the day before deadline day? We were really in the depths of despair, and I actually thought we'd pulled something out the bag before deadline, and we're obviously more excited about the Elliot signing than we were about Sancho. Well, speaking for myself, I was anyway.
Yeah.
Bits that I've seen from him, he's looked eager enough when he's been on the pitch. Probably too eager for Emery. Looked neat and tidy. Looked keen enough to get about the pitch, but I don't know. As the Buendia resurgence before tonight, as that stitched
maybe
up Harvey Elliott, because perhaps Emery was, whether he wanted Elliott or not, was probably thinking that he'd use him more when instead of Buendia. I don't know. You never know, dear, with conspiracy theories. Villa have sailed so close to the wind in terms of the finances in recent years that if there is a clause in there and Emery thinks that he's got better options with the players that he's put ahead of him, then maybe there is. I don't really buy that conspiracy theory, to be honest. I don't think Emery signs or sanctions a player that he's not heavily involved in the scouting and recruitment of, to be honest. So I'd be very surprised if that happens.
What about the other? Sorry, I was going to say, what about the other side of it? There's a couple of Dutch fans in the comments. I think somebody's just posted a load of Eagles. Fair enough. We spoke about Eagles at the start, mate. You missed it there. Our nemesis, the Lion and the Eagle, just don't get on. What about the other side of it? Of you need time to learn the system as a professional footballer. You need time to find out Emery's methods and whatnot. I mean, we are 2 months into Elliot's Villa career. That's a hell of a lot of training sessions and match minutes to be played that he's not playing. At what point do you learn the system? How long does that take? What does that look like?
I remember when Emery came in, it took the players who played in his first game about 3 days to learn his system and to play it very well when we beat Manchester United. So I don't think Harvey Elliott is a particularly stupid footballer who can't absorb information. So, you've probably got a better chance of learning his system by being involved in it on a match day a little bit more. So if that's the case, then none of the new signings would play regularly for 2 months, would they? So it's just something he just doesn't, and he did speak publicly that he wasn't satisfied with Elliot. So if that's what he's prepared to say publicly, because Emery doesn't normally dig his players out, then there must be issues that he's seen in training that he doesn't think he's ready. It's the end of October, isn't it? There's a lot more football to be played. I'd be amazed if we were having this conversation in 2 months' time and we've still only seen cumulative 10 minutes worth of cameo appearances from him, then I probably will buy into the conspiracy theories. But yeah, we'll see. Can I just speak about another new signing as well? In Lindelof, and I know he's not a right back by trade, and I know we've enjoyed a little bit of better form from Matty Cash, culminating in that quite ridiculous pre-assist ball to Luca Dean for Buendia's goal the other day. But I think it's one of those ones you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And Villa, Lindelof's not going to play that role as a marauding right back anyway. But it just shows you what Cash can offer in that position, basically. We saw it for the last 20 minutes, didn't we, when Cash was introduced into the action, that we posed a lot more of a threat down that flank. And I think it was Cash's ball for the penalty, actually, wasn't it? I think.
Somebody said it was McGinn through to Cash. Genuinely, I can't remember.
Right. It was cross from Cash, I think. But yeah, I think, we probably tried to form the Matty Cash Appreciation Society as he stepped up during the last few weeks. And, tonight's proved, I know it's only a very small sample size, but tonight's proved that he absolutely is the best right back we've got available at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any other bits and pieces you want to talk about from the game specifically, or are you happy to wrap up?
Just how disappointing it was tonight to not have a cocktail in my hand and to see Villa win. I thought. You said earlier, didn't you? I think I'm not going to blame you for jinxing it, but I think you text me or left me one of your notorious voice notes earlier saying, "Oh yeah, we'll jump on at 8:00. It'll be a fairly standard win."
I don't know if I said it quite like that, but yeah,
we'll have 30 minutes of good-natured chat, and then we'll get on with our lives. And I kind of you led me into a false sense of security. I thought, yeah, we're good, aren't we? Now we won 5 games on the trot. We'll go there. We'll win 3-1 or 2-0, and on we go.
I wasn't a fool for predicting Villa might win a game against inferior opposition, but here we are.
Oh, no, I'm not blaming you. I think it jolted me a little bit because I was expecting us to win the football match, and I still really can't work out why we weren't good enough to go and do it. Really,
yeah, it's got to be treated as Kevin says there. It's a wake up call for Emery. It has to be treated that way. If Villa internally, and we'll never know this, I don't think, if they treated this as, don't do too much analysis this week, lads, we'll be all right this week, won't we? Like, kind of strip back, let's do the basics, get through it, go there, show up, score a couple, and then come home again. But the focus is on Man City. Don't be distracted from that. If that's the way they treated it, you can't do that again, because there is no easy game anywhere in any competition now, generally. If they've took it as seriously as possible and something isn't right somewhere, that's a tactical problem or whatever, that's different. But if Villa were complacent themselves, and they cannot afford to be that again, every commentator and every pundit will suggest that Villa are one of, if not the favourites to win the competition, not with performances like that. And it has to be the wake-up call, because if we come up against a side that we deem we're better than in a knockout game and we think we can coast our way through it, we'll be out of the competition and we won't be winning anything again for another year. So Villa have to use this as, that cannot happen again. This is one of the worst performances of this season. It cannot get that bad again in any other game. And we hope that they can turn it around as soon as possible with a win, start another streak.
Yeah, I'd argue that it wasn't as bad as the game against the other Eagles back at Villa Park towards the start of the season. But I think by the time we get to knockout games, Dan, I think we'll be playing. I don't think we're making 7 changes. I think we'll be trying to balance those games. I think we'll go out with our strongest 11. But I think it just shows, doesn't it? No matter what the standard of opposition, if you take your eye off the ball, then you're at risk of inflicting damage on yourself as much as anything. I think. Hopefully, it's lesson learned, and hopefully we can get back to Villa Park and start the latest kind of winning run on Sunday.
The suggestion now is that what makes you think we're going to beat Man City? Nothing based off tonight, but we're still a good top 6, 7, 8 Premier League team, and we've beaten Man City twice over the last couple of seasons at home. Like, if you don't go into any game thinking you can beat the other team, then there's not really much point to this, is there?
There's not really much point to it anyway, is there, Dan? What is the meaning of life? I think we could go and beat Man City on Sunday. Hopefully, Emery will get a reaction out of the team. I think he'll be, I wouldn't say he'll be fuming, but I think he'll be very frustrated and annoyed by throwing that one away tonight. So I think we can regroup. Obviously, we're going to have 1 day's less rest than Man City. But with the exception of the Palace game, we've looked pretty decent at home this season. So I back us to at least have a good go at it anyway on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. John and I will be back on Friday evening for the Fan Zone, our new kind of preview show where we'll be getting your opinions on the Man City game. If you don't think we're going to win, come and let us know. Come and have your say. For those that are watching on YouTube, there's a QR code on screen which takes you through to the mailbag. That link is also in the top of each description on YouTube and wherever you listen as well. It says Clarity Mailbag and a link. You click it. Comes up with a text box, say what you want, and it comes through to us. We'll read out your comments on Friday night, and then you and I be back for Sunday for the post-match show. Is that the plan?
Yes, that is the plan. Times kick off 2:00, doesn't it?
2:00, so 5:30, 6:00 or something.
Yeah, I've got to go and play football at 7.
Okay.
And I'll be sticking the penalty away. Glance to the right, and then side foot it with the left foot just inside the left hand post. So
Nice.
Never fails, mate. If I'm required on Sunday afternoon at Villa Park, I'll do that as well. Stick one away, no problem whatsoever.
I was going to say, never mind Sunday at 7. Do you want to do Sunday at 2?
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, have you got to shout out our sponsors, by the way?
Yeah, I wasn't going to because I haven't got enough of the information in front of me, to be perfectly honest.
Just shout out NordVPN, then we can add our new sponsor to the stable after the Manchester City victory. They'd much rather be associated with that, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah, good. Change the QR code. That now takes you to a NordVPN offer where you can get the best discount code available. I think you get 4 months for free when you sign up to the 2-year plan. It's the best discount code available, and it's got Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. See, I know most of that information. We do have a secondary sponsor that is starting pretty ASAP, but I don't have the information in front of me. But come back on Sunday where I'll tell you about them, and we'll have a little video about it, won't we? Little challenge video.
You know them kind of healthy yogurt bars. You can get them go-aheads. It's them, isn't it? Is it that?
Nothing to do with yogurt bars or Eagles, please. The sponsorship team, we don't want to be associated with anything like that. Right, that'll do for this one. Matt, thanks for joining me. Thanks everyone for watching along live. We'll be back for the Fan Zone on Friday night. So we'll see you then. Bye, everyone.